Noah had always been curious about the unusual. He loved the quiet moments when the world seemed to pause, and he could explore something unknown. That was why he found himself standing at the edge of a small, sleepy town, staring at a greenhouse that looked like it belonged in a dream. The town called it the Midnight Greenhouse, for it only opened when the moon hung high and the stars reflected on its glass walls. No one had ever explained why, and that only made Noah more curious. He had arrived in the town during the late afternoon. The streets were calm, and the houses were simple and neat, with flower boxes under the windows and small lanterns that flickered as the sun went down. People waved politely as they passed, but they didn't linger to talk about the greenhouse. It was almost as if the building itself had a quiet secret, waiting for someone brave or perhaps foolish enough to uncover it. Noah waited until the sun had completely set. The sky turned a deep blue, and the first silver stars appeared. The greenhouse's glass walls shimmered in the moonlight, almost glowing with a soft, greenish tint. The wooden door at the front seemed ordinary, yet it had an unusual aura. When Noah pushed it open, a warm, humid scent of soil, flowers, and something he could not name greeted him. It was the kind of smell that made his heart beat faster and his mind feel awake. Inside, the greenhouse was unlike anything he had ever seen. Plants of every shape, size, and color surrounded him. Some leaves shimmered faintly, as though they had absorbed the moonlight itself. Flowers bloomed in hues he had never known existed, colors so vivid they almost seemed unreal. Tiny vines curled around glass panes, and small droplets of water sparkled like diamonds in the soft light. Noah felt like he had stepped into a hidden world, one that existed only for those who dared to enter. As he wandered deeper, he noticed movement near the far end. A figure knelt beside a cluster of flowers, her hands moving with careful precision. Noah's first thought was that it was a gardener, but not just any gardener. She seemed to glide rather than walk, her movements gentle and rhythmic. Her hair, dark like the night sky, fell over her shoulders, and her eyes sparkled when they caught the faint glow of the plants. Noah felt his breath catch, unsure why he was so fascinated by a stranger in a greenhouse. The girl looked up suddenly, as if sensing his presence. For a moment, they simply stared at each other. Her expression was calm, yet curious, and Noah realized he had never seen anyone who seemed so connected to the world around her. "Hello," Noah said, trying to keep his voice steady. I didn't mean to disturb you." The girl smiled, a small, quiet smile that somehow made the entire greenhouse feel warmer. "You're here," she said softly. "Not many come at midnight." "I'm Noah," he said. "I heard about this place and I wanted to see it for myself." "I'm Myra," she replied, returning to her work but glancing up at him from time to time. "It's beautiful, isn't it? The plants only bloom at night. The moon helps them grow." Noah stepped closer, careful not to touch anything. "I've never seen anything like this. It feels magical." Myra nodded. "It is. But you have to be patient. The plants don't respond to force or rush. They need care, respect, and quiet attention. If you try to hurry them, they will hide their beauty." Noah felt a strange sense of calm as he watched her work. There was something in her presence that made the greenhouse feel alive, almost like it recognized her. She moved as if she were part of the world inside, and he realized that this was no ordinary place. It was a sanctuary, and Myra was its guardian. The minutes passed quickly, though it felt like hours. They talked about small things at first: the shapes of the leaves, the colors of the flowers, the way the moonlight touched everything. Noah was careful to listen, learning from Myra's knowledge and gentle guidance. And yet, beneath the surface of their conversation, he felt something else, an unspoken connection, a quiet pull that made his heart race. When it was time to leave, Noah felt a reluctance he hadn't expected. Myra watched him go with a faint smile. "Come back tomorrow," she said. "The plants bloom again at midnight." Noah nodded, already planning to return. As he walked back through the silent streets, the glow of the greenhouse lingered in his mind. He had discovered something rare, something precious, and he couldn't wait to see it again. For Noah, the midnight greenhouse was more than a place of beauty. It was a doorway to mystery, to discovery, and perhaps, he realized with a quiet thrill, to something even deeper, a connection that might change his life forever. The next night, Noah could hardly wait for the moon to rise. As darkness settled over the town, he made his way toward the greenhouse, his heart filled with excitement. The memory of Myra's smile lingered in his mind, and the thought of seeing the glowing plants again made each step lighter than the last. The streets were silent, lit only by the soft glow of lanterns and the occasional reflection of the moon on a window pane. When he reached the greenhouse, the wooden door creaked as he pushed it open, and the familiar scent of soil and flowers enveloped him. The soft green glow from the plants created a magical atmosphere, more enchanting than he had remembered. For a moment, he simply stood in awe, letting the serenity of the place wash over him. Then he noticed Myra kneeling beside a cluster of moonlit flowers, her hands moving with careful precision. She looked up, her eyes catching the faint light. "You came back," she said softly. There was no surprise in her voice, only a calm acceptance, as if she had known he would return. "I told you I would," Noah replied with a small smile. "I couldn't stay away." Myra's lips curved into a gentle smile. "Then you must truly love the night, or perhaps the plants." "No," Noah said, laughing lightly. "I think it's more about this place. And you, of course." He quickly realized he had spoken too soon, but Myra's eyes twinkled as if she understood perfectly. She didn't seem upset, only curious. "I'm glad," she said, returning her attention to the flowers. "Would you like to help?" Noah hesitated. He didn't want to make a mistake, but the offer felt like an invitation he couldn't refuse. "I'd like that," he said. Myra handed him a small watering can. "These plants are delicate. They respond to care, not force. Treat them gently, and they will thrive." As Noah began watering the flowers, Myra watched him with a quiet interest. They worked side by side, talking softly about the plants, the moon, and the stars above. Myra's voice was soothing, and Noah found himself relaxing in her presence, forgetting the outside world completely. "You've never tended to moonlit plants before, have you?" Myra asked. "No," Noah admitted. "But I've always wanted to learn. They're fascinating." "They are," Myra said. "But they need more than just water and sunlight. They need attention, respect, and a connection. Only those who care deeply will see them truly bloom." Noah looked at the plants around him, glowing faintly in the night. He realized Myra was right. There was something alive in the greenhouse that went beyond ordinary growth. It felt as if the plants were aware of their presence, responding to their gentle words and movements. As the night passed, their conversation drifted to other topics, stories from their childhood, small dreams, and simple joys. Noah learned that Myra had grown up in the town but had always felt a stronger bond with nature than with people. She spoke of the greenhouse as if it were a living friend, sharing its secrets only with those patient enough to listen. Noah shared his own love for discovery, how he had always sought places and moments that felt extraordinary. Myra listened with keen interest, her eyes reflecting the soft green light around them. Occasionally, their hands brushed as they worked, sending small sparks of warmth through Noah. He felt a growing closeness, a gentle pull that went beyond friendship. At one point, Myra held up a tiny flower with petals that shimmered like glass. "This one blooms only when someone truly appreciates it," she said. "Try to understand it, not just see it." Noah knelt beside her, studying the delicate flower. "It's incredible," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." "Then you are ready to connect with it," Myra said quietly, her voice almost a part of the night itself. Noah felt a strange sense of wonder, as if the flower and perhaps the entire greenhouse was acknowledging his presence. Time seemed to slip away. The stars wheeled overhead, and the moon traveled across the sky, yet Noah and Myra remained immersed in their quiet world. The greenhouse had become a sanctuary for both of them, a place where laughter, curiosity, and gentle care intertwined. As the night drew to a close, Noah felt a reluctance to leave. I don't want to go yet," he said softly. Myra smiled knowingly. "You will come back. The plants, and perhaps I, will be here again." Noah nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest he could not quite name. As he stepped out into the cool night air, he realized the greenhouse had become more than a place of glowing plants. It was a place where hearts could meet, where connections could grow as naturally and beautifully as the flowers themselves. And he knew, without a doubt, that he would return again tomorrow, drawn by curiosity, wonder, and something far deeper than he had expected. Noah couldn't stop thinking about the midnight greenhouse. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, his mind wandered to the glowing plants and to Myra. There was something about her quiet confidence, the way she moved among the flowers, that made the greenhouse feel alive. That night, he arrived earlier than usual, eager to see her and to learn more about the mysterious place. The greenhouse door creaked softly as he pushed it open. The familiar scent of earth and blooming flowers greeted him, filling him with calm energy. The soft green glow of the plants shimmered across the glass walls, and the gentle rustle of leaves made the place feel alive, almost as if it were breathing. Noah's eyes searched for Myra, and he soon spotted her near a corner he had never explored before. She was kneeling beside a small cluster of delicate flowers, her hands carefully tending to them. "Good evening," Noah said, stepping closer. Myra looked up, her eyes lighting with recognition. "You came early," she said with a small smile. "Curious to see more?" "Always," Noah replied. "I can't stop thinking about this place. It's different from anywhere else I've ever been." Myra nodded. "It has its secrets. Not everyone can see them." She stood and motioned for him to follow. "I want to show you something special tonight." Noah's heart beat faster. He had already explored much of the greenhouse, but the idea of a hidden section made him even more eager. Myra led him through narrow paths between tall plants, past glowing flowers and twisting vines. At the far end, she stopped in front of a door almost hidden behind hanging leaves. With a gentle push, she opened it, revealing a small room filled with rare and delicate plants he had never seen before. The air smelled sweeter here, and the faint glow of the plants painted the walls in shades of green and gold. "These plants are different," Myra explained. "They respond to emotions. Only those who care deeply can nurture them. If someone comes with selfish intentions, the plants will hide their beauty." Noah knelt beside a flower with petals that shimmered like glass. He could feel a quiet warmth emanating from it. "It's Incredible, he whispered. I've never seen anything like this. Myra watched him carefully. These plants teach patience and respect. If you try to rush them or force them, they will not thrive. You must be gentle, and you must listen. Noah looked around, noticing the subtle movements of the leaves as if they were responding to Myra's presence. He realized that the greenhouse was not just a place of beauty, it was alive in its own way, a living, breathing world that responded to care and attention. And Myra, he understood, was its heart. Would you like to help me? She asked. These plants need careful hands. I'd love to, Noah said eagerly. For the next hour, they worked side by side. Myra guided him in tending the rare plants, showing him how to water them just enough, how to whisper to them softly, and how to observe their subtle responses. Noah listened closely, trying to match her careful movements. He felt a sense of peace he had never experienced before, as if time itself had slowed and the world outside had vanished. As they worked, Myra shared more about herself. She had grown up in the town but had always felt more at home among plants than people. She had discovered this hidden section years ago and had dedicated herself to protecting it. These plants are fragile, but they are strong in their own way, she said. They teach me to be patient, to care, and to understand. Noah admired her dedication. You've created something amazing, he said softly. Not just the plants, but this place. It feels alive, because of you. Myra looked at him, her eyes gentle but searching. It's not just me. Anyone who comes with respect and curiosity can feel it. But very few do. Noah felt a quiet connection, not just to the greenhouse, but to Myra herself. He realized that their bond was growing, built on shared wonder and careful attention. For the first time, he understood that the beauty of the greenhouse was more than the plants, it was the quiet understanding between two people who truly cared. As the night deepened, they paused to admire a cluster of flowers that glowed brighter than any others. The soft light illuminated their faces, and for a moment, they simply stood there, taking in the quiet magic of the place. Noah felt his heart swell with admiration, wonder, and something more, a feeling he could not yet name but knew was special. When it was finally time to leave, Myra smiled softly. You've done well tonight, she said. Come back soon. There is still much to discover. Noah nodded, feeling a warmth that stayed with him even as he stepped back into the cool night air. The midnight greenhouse had become more than a place of beauty, it was a place of learning, connection, and growing trust. And with Myra by his side, Noah felt certain that he had found something rare and precious, something that could change his life forever. The town was buzzing with excitement. The annual Festival of Blossoms had arrived, a celebration of flowers, colors, and life. Streets were decorated with garlands, lanterns hung from every corner, and the sweet scent of flowers drifted through the air. Noah walked through the town with a sense of anticipation. This festival was special not just for the townspeople, but for the midnight greenhouse. Myra had been hesitant at first. She preferred the quiet nights, the hidden corners of her greenhouse, and the gentle glow of her plants under the moon. But Noah encouraged her. People will love your flowers, he said. They will understand why this greenhouse is so magical. With his help, Myra agreed to display some of the rarest plants from the greenhouse. They carefully transported the glowing flowers to a small, secluded section of the festival, setting them on wooden tables and under glass domes. The soft green and golden lights shimmered against the lanterns, creating a magical corner that drew everyone's attention. As the festival began, people wandered through the streets, admiring the decorations, tasting the sweet pastries, and laughing with friends. When they reached the greenhouse's display, they paused in awe. The plants seemed alive, glowing softly in colors that shifted as the moonlight touched them. Children leaned closer, eyes wide with wonder, while adults whispered to each other, marveling at the rare beauty. Noah stood beside Myra, quietly observing the crowd. "They love it," he said, a smile spreading across his face. Myra nodded, her hands folded in front of her. "Yes, but it is more than just beauty," she said. "These plants carry patience, care, and attention. They respond to love, not just admiration." Noah watched her, feeling a deep respect for her dedication. "I can see why you protect them so carefully," he said softly. "They're, like you. Strong, but delicate. Special." Myra glanced at him, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. For a moment, their eyes met, and the soft glow of the plants seemed to surround them in a private world, even in the middle of the bustling festival. As the night went on, Noah and Myra found moments of quiet together. They wandered through the festival, sampling sweet treats and laughing at the silly games. Noah noticed how Myra's eyes sparkled with each smile, how her laughter blended with the gentle hum of the night. He realized that he was not only captivated by the greenhouse but also by Myra herself. At one point, they stopped near a small fountain, where floating flowers reflected the moonlight. Noah took a deep breath, feeling the pull of the moment. "Myra," he said softly, I think this place, these plants, and you, have changed how I see the world. Everything feels brighter, more alive." Myra looked at him, her expression gentle but serious. "I feel the same," she admitted. "The greenhouse is special, yes, but it is also the moments we share that make it feel complete." Noah smiled, feeling warmth in his chest. He realized that their connection had grown beyond simple friendship. It was quiet, tender, and real, a bond that had blossomed like the flowers around them. Later, as the festival drew to a close, they returned to the greenhouse. The streets were quieter now, lanterns casting soft glows on the empty roads. Inside, the plants seemed to glow even brighter in the absence of the crowd. Noah and Myra moved through the greenhouse, tending to the flowers and sharing small, quiet jokes. The comfortable silence between them was filled with trust and understanding. "Noah," Myra said after a while, "thank you for encouraging me. I didn't think I could share the greenhouse with others, but it feels right. With you." "No, thank you," Noah replied. "For letting me be a part of it. And for being here." They shared a small, lingering glance, feeling a sense of closeness neither had felt before. The greenhouse, once a hidden sanctuary, now held not only glowing plants but also the beginning of something deeper between them. As they stepped outside, the night air was cool and crisp. The festival lights shimmered in the distance, and the stars hung like diamonds above. Noah realized that the midnight greenhouse was no longer just a place of beauty and mystery. It was a place where hearts could grow, where bonds could strengthen, and where the magic of friendship and perhaps something more could bloom in quiet, unforgettable ways. And with Myra by his side, Noah knew that this was only the beginning of their journey together, under the soft glow of plants, lanterns, and moonlight. The sky had been calm all day, but as night fell, dark clouds rolled in, covering the moon and stars. Noah glanced nervously at the sky while walking toward the midnight greenhouse. He had promised Myra he would check on the plants tonight, and he had learned that when she cared for them, she took no chances. Something about the approaching storm made the air tense, and even the usual green glow of the greenhouse seemed dimmer, as if waiting. When he arrived, Myra was already there, moving quickly yet carefully between the plants. "The storm is coming faster than I expected," she said, her voice calm but tinged with concern. "Some of the plants are sensitive to strong winds and heavy rain. We need to protect them." Noah nodded, setting down the small basket of tools he had brought. "What can I do to help?" Myra handed him a bundle of protective coverings and small wooden stakes. "We need to cover the delicate flowers and secure the taller plants. Work quickly, but gently. Every plant matters." They moved through the greenhouse together, their movements synchronized by shared urgency. Noah noticed how Myra seemed completely at ease despite the danger, as if she had spent years preparing for nights like this. He admired her courage and careful attention, and he felt proud to help. At one point, a sudden gust of wind rattled the glass panes. Noah jumped, his heart racing. Myra was immediately at his side, guiding him to a fragile flower that threatened to topple. "Hold it steady," she instructed, her hand brushing against his. Noah felt a small jolt of warmth at the contact, but he focused on the task. Together, they secured the plant, tying it gently to a stake, and it swayed safely in the wind. As the storm grew stronger, rain began to beat against the glass. The greenhouse shook slightly, and the soft glow of the plants flickered. Noah and Myra moved quickly, carrying the rarest flowers to the safest corners. Their hands brushed often, sending small shocks of excitement through both of them. For Noah, the danger of the storm made his feelings for Myra clearer than ever. He realized how much he cared for her, how much he wanted to protect her just as they were protecting the plants. Finally, after what felt like hours, they had secured every plant. The greenhouse was safe, though the wind still rattled the panes outside. They stood together in the center, catching their breath, soaked from the humidity and rain that had seeped through. Myra looked at Noah, her dark eyes reflecting the soft green light of the glowing flowers. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I couldn't have done it without you. You were brave tonight." "No," Noah said, shaking his head. "You were amazing. I just wanted to help." He paused, unsure how to express the feeling in his chest. "I realized tonight. I care about you. More than I thought I could care for anyone." Myra's eyes softened, and she took a small step closer. "I care about you too, Noah," she admitted. "I've felt something special between us for a while, but I wasn't sure. Tonight, I see it clearly." The storm outside roared like a wild creature, but inside the greenhouse, there was a quiet, tender warmth. Noah reached out and gently brushed a strand of hair from Myra's face. Their hands lingered, and for a moment, the glowing plants, the soft green light, and the shelter of the greenhouse felt like a world made just for them. They didn't need to say more. The storm had tested the greenhouse, and it had also shown them the strength of their bond. They stood together, quiet and calm, feeling a connection that went beyond words. Each plant around them seemed to glow brighter, as if acknowledging their care and courage. After a while, the wind began to calm, and the rain slowed to a soft drizzle. Noah and Myra walked through the greenhouse once more, checking each plant, ensuring that everyone was safe. Though the night had been tense, there was a sense of accomplishment and relief. When they finally stepped outside, the storm clouds were breaking, revealing glimpses of the moon and stars. The air was fresh and cool, filled with the scent of wet earth and flowers. Noah looked at Myra, feeling a warmth that no storm could diminish. "We make a good team," he said with a small smile. Myra smiled back, her eyes reflecting the silver light of the moon. Yes, she said softly. A strong team. And perhaps, more than that. Noah nodded, feeling hope and excitement for the future. The storm had passed, the greenhouse was safe, and their hearts were closer than ever. He realized that challenges could bring people together, and that even in the darkest, stormiest nights, care, courage, and connection could make everything brighter. And as they walked side by side back to the quiet streets of the town, Noah knew that the midnight greenhouse had become more than a sanctuary for plants, it had become a sanctuary for them, a place where trust, courage, and affection could grow alongside the rarest flowers. The night after the storm was calm and clear. The air was cool, carrying the fresh scent of rain-soaked earth and flowers. Noah walked through the quiet streets, feeling a lightness in his chest he hadn't felt before. The events of the previous night kept replaying in his mind: the storm, the shared effort, and Myra's gentle, honest words. Something had shifted between them, and he knew he wanted to understand it fully. When he reached the midnight greenhouse, he found Myra already inside. She was kneeling beside a small cluster of flowers, arranging them carefully under the soft green glow. The plants seemed to shine even brighter after the storm, as if renewed by the night. When she noticed Noah, her face lit up with a warm smile. "You came early," she said softly. "I wanted to make sure the plants recovered well after the storm." "I wanted to see you," Noah admitted, his voice quiet. "And to see how the greenhouse looks now." Myra's eyes softened, and for a moment, neither spoke. They simply walked through the greenhouse together, moving slowly and carefully around the glowing plants. The quiet hum of life and the gentle rustle of leaves created a peaceful rhythm, and Noah felt a sense of comfort and safety he hadn't realized he craved. "I can't stop thinking about last night," Noah said after a while, stopping beside a flower that shimmered like silver. "You were incredible. I've never seen anyone handle something like that with so much calm and care." Myra looked at him, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the plants. "It was easier because you were there," she replied gently. "I've tended these plants for years, but something is different when someone shares the responsibility, someone you trust." Noah felt his heart swell. He had wanted to say how he felt for so long, but words seemed small compared to the feelings in his chest. Finally, he took a deep breath and stepped closer. "Myra, I care about you. More than I can explain. I think. I've felt it for a while, but last night made me realize it fully." Myra's eyes widened slightly, and a faint blush appeared on her cheeks. She hesitated, then took a small step closer. "I care about you too, Noah," she admitted softly. "I wasn't sure if it was real, or if I was just attached to the greenhouse. But it's not just that. It's you." Noah felt a warmth spread through his chest. He reached out gently, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Myra's eyes followed his movement, and for a moment, the greenhouse, the glowing plants, and the soft green light seemed to fade away. All that mattered was the quiet understanding between them. They walked together to a small corner where the rarest flowers grew, their petals glowing faintly in shades of gold and silver. Noah knelt beside them, and Myra sat close, their shoulders almost touching. They didn't need to speak, the silence was comfortable, filled with shared trust and growing affection. "I've never felt this way before," Noah admitted quietly. "Being here, with you, it feels right. Like I belong." Myra's hand brushed his lightly, a touch that made his heart race. "I feel the same," she said. It's as if the greenhouse brought us together, but it's more than that. I want to be here with you, not just with the plants. Noah smiled, feeling a sense of completion he hadn't known before. Then let's stay here for a while, he suggested, his voice soft but steady. Just us and the plants, under the moonlight. Myra nodded, and they settled among the glowing flowers, talking in whispers about small dreams, the stars above, and the quiet moments they cherished. Every laugh, every glance, and every gentle touch strengthened their bond. Noah realized that the midnight greenhouse had become more than a sanctuary for rare plants. It was a place where hearts could grow and bloom in the same way, nurtured by care, trust, and quiet affection. As the night deepened, they leaned back against a wooden bench, watching the soft shimmer of flowers. Noah took Myra's hand gently, holding it as they sat in silence. The moonlight streamed through the glass, illuminating the glow of the greenhouse and reflecting in their eyes. It was a moment of peace, connection, and tender realization, a moment neither of them would forget. Finally, Myra whispered, "Noah, I think we've found something rare. Something worth protecting, just like the plants." Noah squeezed her hand gently. "Yes. And I promise to do just that with you, with the greenhouse, and with everything this place represents." For the first time, both of them felt a certainty that went beyond words. The midnight greenhouse had given them not only beauty and wonder, but also trust, courage, and the beginning of a love that grew gently, patiently, and powerfully. And as they sat together, under the soft glow of rare flowers and the light of the moon, Noah and Myra knew that their journey was just beginning, a journey filled with shared dreams, quiet laughter, and a bond that could only grow stronger with time. The days passed quietly, yet every evening brought a sense of excitement for Noah. The midnight greenhouse had become more than a place of rare plants. It had become a place where he and Myra shared laughter, stories, and quiet moments under the gentle glow of the flowers. Their bond had grown steadily, strengthened by shared care, trust, and subtle, unspoken affection. Tonight felt special, as if the greenhouse itself sensed the change in their hearts. Noah arrived to find Myra already tending the glowing flowers. The rare plants shimmered brighter than usual, their colors reflecting the soft moonlight that filtered through the glass walls. Myra looked up and smiled warmly, her eyes reflecting a mixture of happiness and calm excitement. "Good evening," Noah said, his voice filled with quiet joy. "It looks more beautiful than ever tonight." Myra laughed softly. "It does," she replied. "The plants seem to bloom for special moments. Tonight feels special." Noah nodded, feeling the truth in her words. He had come not just to care for the plants, but to share this night with her. He approached slowly, holding a small bundle of newly discovered seeds he had brought. "I thought we could plant these together," he suggested. "They're rare, but I think they'll thrive here." Myra's eyes sparkled with delight. "I'd love that," she said softly. They worked side by side, gently planting the seeds in small pots, watering them carefully, and adjusting the soil. Every movement was shared, every glance meaningful. As they worked, their hands brushed lightly, sending a warm, comforting feeling through both of them. Noah realized, as he had many times before, that being with Myra felt like returning home, safe, peaceful, and full of quiet joy. When the planting was done, they stepped back to admire their work. The greenhouse shimmered softly, a living tapestry of green, gold, and silver. Noah turned to Myra, his heart full of emotion. "Myra, I've realized something," he said gently. "Being here with you, caring for the plants, sharing these quiet nights, it's made me understand what really matters. I don't want to be anywhere else. I want to stay here with you. Myra's eyes softened, and she took his hand in hers. Noah. I feel the same, she whispered. This place brought us together, but it's more than that. I want to share these moments, these dreams, with you. The air between them seemed to hum with quiet magic. They stood together, hand in hand, surrounded by the glowing plants they had nurtured. The greenhouse, once a secret sanctuary, had become a symbol of their shared journey, a place where trust, care, and love had grown naturally and beautifully. As the night deepened, they walked to a small bench in the corner, surrounded by their favorite flowers. The soft glow illuminated their faces, and the gentle rustle of leaves created a peaceful rhythm. Noah looked into Myra's eyes, feeling the depth of their connection. I promise, he said softly, to care for this place, the plants, and you. Always. Myra smiled, her eyes shimmering with quiet emotion. And I promise the same, she replied. We will grow together, just like the plants, patiently, gently, and with care. For a long time, they simply sat together, watching the glowing flowers sway in the gentle breeze. Every now and then, they laughed quietly, sharing memories of the days they had spent together, or whispered hopes for the future. The greenhouse felt alive, responding to their bond, and the soft glow of the plants seemed to brighten as if celebrating their connection. Eventually, they stepped outside, breathing in the cool night air. The stars shone brightly above, reflecting the quiet magic of the greenhouse. Noah and Myra walked through the empty streets, their hands intertwined, feeling a sense of contentment and belonging neither had known before. This town, Myra said softly, will always have the midnight greenhouse, and now, we'll always have each other. Noah smiled, squeezing her hand gently. Yes, he replied. And together, we can discover new plants, new wonders, and continue sharing these nights, these moments, and this life. As they returned to the greenhouse, the moonlight streamed through the glass walls, casting gentle shadows across the glowing flowers. Noah and Myra entered together, ready to continue their journey side by side. The greenhouse had given them more than rare plants, it had given them connection, trust, and a love that had blossomed quietly, naturally, and beautifully. In the quiet of the night, surrounded by the glowing plants, Noah and Myra shared a peaceful moment, knowing that their hearts were firmly entwined. The midnight greenhouse had become a sanctuary not only for rare flowers but also for two souls who had found each other under its soft, magical glow. And as they stood together, hand in hand, under the moonlight, they knew that every night, every glowing bloom, and every quiet moment would continue to nurture the bond that had grown so wonderfully between them, a bond that would last, just like the rarest flowers in the midnight greenhouse.